Hey everybody, I'm TJ Majors, spotter of the 6 Cup car this week. The race-winning 88 Xfinity car and Andy J.
You don't get to claim that. You spotted one turn. I mean, Jesus Christ.
3 for 50 laps, whatever. I don't even know.
I probably you only spotted one turn. Your guy was clear by 40 the rest of the race after turn 1.
Yeah, after turn 1 was pretty good.
Brett Griffin, I spotted TJ wreck everybody yesterday.
Yesterday? Oh, you saw that yesterday? Yeah. Including my boss. I think he started with my boss, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Inside. Should get rid of spotters.
Freddie Kraft, spotter for Bubba Wallace, Kyle Sieg this weekend.
What, too soon?
And
No, what is
still here. Still coming back.
Birthday
for
week.
Some
Still
reason.
here.
Birthday week.
week, yeah.
You guys all have to get me a gift.
TJ is going to pop out of a cake.
Your gift can be not having an
yeah.
attitude today.
Sorry.
Well, we
You
were
are
gonna-
off to a
Sorry, it's
Weren't
not
we
going to
do it? We were going to give her a gift at like 11:30, right?
11.
Well, where I get to leave?
11:30. We're gonna give her a present.
Where I get to leave?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're leaving at 11:20, so you're not gonna get your present.
Oh, you guys are funny.
We have TJ jumping out of a birthday cake. Is that not good enough for you?
As long as he has clothes on.
We've been rehearsing this for a while. I mean,
Could you imagine him jumping out with one of those European bikinis on?
you have the
like the one-
no.
like the,
why are you
Like
thinking
a
about
Speedo?
that?
Like Borat?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I bet he has a hairy belly.
Not really.
No.
We're not
Not
going
like-
to find
You
out.
got a hairy neck.
Yeah, but I'm not like Tony.
Okay.
That's not bad.
All your
the
hair's
hell's
on the back of
Tony?
your head.
Never.
Wait, that was very awkward, actually.
Yeah, that took such a turn.
I've always given TJ hell about his hairy neck. Like, for how many years?
All of them.
Yeah, like 80. I don't know.
I don't think.
No.
Are you
80.
No, but that seems
Well,
like
happy
that
birthday week, Karsyn.
Thanks. I
Big
appreciate
party. You racing this week? Is there a race this week?
it. No racing this week.
What do you get for your birthday at your age? I'm curious. Like, what do you ask for?
What I don't ask. Maybe for like my electricity bill to be paid or like my Wi-Fi.
You're 3 years after the last birthday.
A
You
gas card would be great.
I always say the last birthday you look forward to is 21.
Yeah.
Like after that, it's
Yeah.
over.
And like
Game
maybe my
over.
Yeah, it is.
30th might
It's a
be
slow-
fun, but
the fun. It's a slow decline.
You don't look forward to 30. It's only getting worse. I
Yeah.
promise.
And in the
Before-
40s,
Thanks, everybody.
it doesn't even matter in the 40s anymore.
Before we
like-
start, shout out to DBC Stafford Dalton. He got married this weekend.
Oh,
Dalton got married.
Yeah,
Really?
Misery loves company. Welcome to the family.
Did you give
bud.
did you give him the speech?
Oh, I didn't give him a speech. I didn't tell him that she's going to cut her hair and gain 15
Brett.
pounds.
So Brett goes, once you get married, geez, she's gonna cut her hair and gain 20 pounds. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Literally 2 weeks after I get married, Megan's baking the biggest batch of cookies I've ever seen. She's like, I think I'm getting a haircut. I was like, what the is going on?
my
I'm like,
God.
is he serious?
Jesus. Oh,
Been
boy.
there, done that.
I'm never getting married then.
Just don't bake cookies
'Cause you like
after
your
get
hair.
married.
I'm not Becky Helmacki. I'm not about to be baking cookies. I'll tell you that right now.
Kelly didn't teach you that growing up.
We weren't a cookie baking household, if you know what I mean. Anyways,
Well,
Where the hell do we go this
did you
week?
guys have fun at
I
Watkins
don't-
Glen?
did y'all go
Oh,
to State
Watkins
Park?
Glen.
Yeah,
No, we
yeah.
were at the-
I did a couple
Yeah,
miles.
I thought you guys were going to go hiking together.
Brett didn't show up. I was there. I was
Yeah.
waiting for him at the bottom of the hill. He just never made
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hiking was amazing. Timmy Fedewa actually showed me this badass house. He told me how to get there. I'm not going to tell everybody how to get there because this guy probably doesn't want people at their house. But the house, the waterfall's in the guy's backyard. Like it's like the guy goes out of walks out of his house and that.
Wow.
It's not
Oh.
the main waterfall you always see.
Don't worry,
but-
they're not going to find it. It's not just.
Well, there's a lot of waterfalls there. So, but yeah, this house was badass.
How did Timmy find this guy's house? I'm curious.
Well, I'm not really sure. Timmy, you know Timmy. You can expect a lot out of Timmy. How'd your race go, TJ? Aside from wrecking my boss, you.
If it could have happened, it happened. So it was just one of them races. You self-inflicted penalties, battle back from it, get caught up in other stuff. And then finally, when you feel like you finally catch a break, you just get kicked again. So
Did you talk to him after the race, fly home with him or anything, spend any time with him? I'm
yeah.
curious what the car landing on his B post, if that was like an moment.
honestly, he didn't really say anything about it. I mean, he was trying to back up and get out of it, but it definitely had to be a weird, time there to have probably see a car right there. But pretty
in your window. I think that's
yeah.
weird.
I'm actually really glad that it didn't hook anything when he got up and it got over the fence a little bit and hooked because that'd have been much bigger. it caught a fence or something. But I think luckily, our car we didn't get much damage from that. Just nothing significant.
He was really close to going out of the ballpark.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Through some billboards.
So the last time I've seen somebody leave the park at Watkins Glen was probably in like a Busch North race back in, I don't remember if it was early 2000s maybe, or could have been the late 90s as well. But somebody went off in the inside of the track and top of the S's there. They had a wreck in the S's and somebody hit somebody and ramped up just like that kind of and went into the infield. So
Yeah.
big wreck. But
place is fast,
very
man.
exciting race for me. Lots of drama.
Lots of excitement.
Lots of excitement.
We basically ran last the whole race and then finished.
You've never
16th.
got out of my way. We passed you, and you just, I thought something broke. You pulled over. Bubba just was like, go.
Oh, the one time you had to one, probably? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think he had enough at that point. Like, we were on older tires. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, but that was kind of our strategy all day, was just kind of survive and be there when they all wreck at the end. And I think we finished 16th or 17th. Like,
No, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Done day. How was the race on television? Is it
Honestly, man, the broadcast was great. I thought it was one
Warner?
I thought it was one of the most beautifully done broadcasts that I've ever seen. And listen, Watkins Glen has some elevation changes, some rolling hills. The weather was great, but just the way they captured the area and the track itself, like it was as pretty on TV as it's ever been. And between the strategies playing out and probably the 99 screw in the pooch, when the caution comes out as the leaders are approaching the pit zone and you don't know who's going to come or not come with 2 to go, like that was a pretty big moment. I felt like
his Trackhouse teammates.
Yeah, they were like first and third.
No, they were first and second.
First and second.
They were both coming to pit road, I think.
I would have thought so, but it was a great race on TV. Honestly, like I don't know what more you could ask for out of a road course race. To be honest with you,
It was. I got to watch a lot of it, so it was. I love Watkins Glen. I think Watkins Glen gives you a little bit of everything for road courses, like speed. Like it's a fast road course. It's not, Hocevar ran the boot on Friday or Saturday, whatever it was. Like he decided he was going to do that by himself. It's just, but it's just it's a fun place. It kind of goes by quick. You feel like it's just a fun place to go.
15 laps.
So yeah. I said to somebody when we got that caution with whatever it was, like 8 to go or something. I text a buddy of mine. We were going out last night. I go, well, this caution's the difference from me getting to the bar at 9:30 or 10:30. Like,
Oh, yeah. If there's a caution with 15 or so to go, that's adding an hour to the race.
yeah.
Like, it's going to do it.
yeah. Well, pace laps are long there. I've always said, turn 1 in Watkins Glen is probably the hardest corner in NASCAR before this car was invented. With this car, I don't continue to live on that hill. That's the hardest corner in all of NASCAR. But, man, restarts 4 and 5 wide down in there. People getting dumped. People getting spun. It was a melee.
Chaos.
Yeah. And you dominated Saturday. That was all you, right? All the prep you did with Connor and everything you taught him.
I looked
leading
like
up to that
Hirsch.
point.
data.
I looked like Hirsch
Yeah.
just sitting there in that chair.
Clear by 50.
Yeah, that was
No problem.
That was I don't even Connor ridiculous. Like
I don't think I've seen a guy at his age that if I were NASCAR, I would embrace more than I would embrace Connor Zilisch. I think that given the talent that he has and given where he's at in his life with his age and his demographic and how well-spoken he is, I think I would try to figure out a way to try to make this kid a global brand. I would have him in every single race I could all across the world because it's very obvious he beat SVG on a road course. And we all rant and rave about how great SVG is and how great AJ Allmendinger is.
Yeah.
He's never been in a race and he went out there and literally kicked their asses.
The
multiple times and then restarts
The biggest
too,
thing when you watch Connor make a lap, just it was ARCA, Xfinity, whatever it was this week. He's never out of shape, ever. Like the car does not move. You know what I mean? Like he is just in complete control. It seems like. I mean, I don't know what's going on in the car with him, but it looks from the outside looking in, the car is not out of shape. It's never like he goes to the bus stop and Chris Lambert that does Denny Hamlin on Sundays. He spotted the bus stop for the ARCA race, and he said, "I'm telling you, that kid ran through the bus stop." And was never more than a foot off. Like you see people get in there and they get a little out of shape. He goes, he was the same spot every time. 1 foot off the curb every time, like clockwork, like couldn't be beat. And I mean, the race on Saturday, he's saving fuel and driving away.
So the hardest part about Connor is slowing him down. And we knew that going in, that after watching Coda when he was real fast, like ridiculously fast again, but he kept overstepping and costing himself probably the race, honestly. And the biggest thing was just keeping him at an 8 out of 10 because he can run ridiculously fast if he wants to, but there is an edge there that it only takes one wheel hop into one and you're backwards, and you're not gonna SVG and them guys are gone at that point. But to keep Connor running at an 8 out of 10, and then honestly making him run at about a 5 out of 10, and we had this problem. We kept slowing him down and he kept going faster. And I don't even we ran like a 74, 13, and he goes by and I'm like, Connor, I want to hear you lift in front of me, because Andrew's in the ear we got to go slower. We got to slow down, because Ty and these guys are running mid 74s, and we're lifting at the flag stand, and you can hear it. I don't know, you could hear him lifting, and I'm like, we good by next time 73-80, and I'm like, good God, you little. I thought he was trying to make it up on the backside of the track. I'm like, he's sneaking back there, and he's like, no, I'm lifting early back there too. I'm like, what is he doing? He just kept going faster.
I think in a sport, and I know Karsyn can relate to this in any motorsports, form of motorsports, you compare yourself to other people. You're comparing yourself to your teammate, right? If you're Denny Hamlin, you're comparing yourself to Kyle Busch when they were teammates. If you're, Bubba Wallace, you're comparing yourself to Tyler Reddick, or you're Elliott Sadler back in the day, comparing yourself to Dale Jarrett. And then if you're really great, you start comparing yourself, Kevin Harvick to Jimmy Johnson. And I think that those comparisons can either motivate you or depress you. And Bubba Wallace admitted over the winter when Ryan Blaney won a championship that it sent him into a downward spiral a little bit, because he was sitting there comparing himself to a guy that he grew up racing against that was a good friend of his. And because that guy found championship before he did, it beat him up.
Yep.
If I'm 18 years old, I would sure as hell hate to have to compare myself to a Connor Zilisch for the next 20 years.
24-hour race win.
Yeah. He does a little bit of everything. Micros at Millbridge all the way to the Rolex.
How good is he? And I'm asking this not knowing.
versed.
I'm asking this not knowing the answer. How good is he going to be on ovals when he starts out?
He wins. He wins every damn ARCA race there is.
Yeah, I don't think he struggles.
He's beating one guy,
Yeah.
but
You're probably racing one JGR car.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think his biggest struggle, I think short tracks he'll be fine because he's been doing that with the late model stuff.
Yeah.
Mile and a half is where he may struggle. I don't think he's going to, but that would be the biggest challenge for him because it's something that he hasn't really done a lot of because he just turned 18. So I think that's where the biggest challenge is going to come in for him. But when we had him on here was February, March, I said, you're not going to believe this kid when he comes in here. He's 17 years old at the time, and he's so mature. When you talk to him, you don't realize you're talking to a kid, and that just I don't think if there was a struggle point, that might be it, but I don't think there's going to be one. Is he running a mile and a half this year?
So that's what I was going to say. We're going to find out at Kansas and Homestead. So
Kansas is a hard mile and a half, not an easy one.
Homestead's pretty hard.
Homestead's going to be. If
Yeah.
he can be precise, if he's that precise with the road course stuff, he's going to have to be that precise with the wall.
Yeah. It's going to be really fun to see how fast he gets up to speed at these ovals.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to. The hardest part for him is going to be learning the air, because he has plenty of speed when he runs that ARCA car at the mile and a half. He has no problem having the speed, but like Freddie mentioned, he's only really raced one guy, and now you're going to be in a pack of them where, man, there's going to be a car in the bottom, a car in the middle, and a car on the high side. Where do you go? And they're all right in front of you. He's going to have to learn how to manipulate the air at times and put himself in better spots.
How quick's he in a full-time Cup car?
I think, man,
27? 2027?
I think maybe.
It might be 26.
Yeah, I think it could be 20. If he goes and has really...
Here's the reality. He can win at every road course he goes to, just like SVG.
Yeah.
There's 6 or 7 of them. He can win any plate track he goes to, or super speedway. There's 6 of those. So at 18 years old, I can sit here and say, I think he could contend to win 13 races next year in a Cup car.
Yeah.
At 18 years old. So how long are you going to hold him here?
There's no if you would have put him in that race yesterday, he would have been a contender.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And granted, it would have been. It's not. Listen, the Cup level is definitely way harder than
Way
the rest.
harder.
But
Put him in a Trackhouse car yesterday. The Trackhouse cars were flying. Suarez, SVG.
I think he would have ran. He would have been a contender for sure.
Yeah.
Whether he can, I don't know. He's gonna have to learn it some, but I don't think he's gonna have much of an issue.
What's your evaluation of him?
I agree 100% with everything. And especially like we've gotten to experience more of like his mature side, like how you're talking about with who he is outside of the race car, with Cars Tour stuff. And it's just always been really impressive to me. I would have never guessed his age when I initially met him. And like you said, I think he'll be a great ambassador for the sport, and they need to have him everywhere that they can. I think that's kind of what's starting to happen with the energy drink stuff that he's got going on. Am I allowed to say like what it actually is, or I'll get in trouble?
You can say
He's
it.
a-
I didn't know branding.
You could
wise.
say it. No,
But
you-
like the Red Bull stuff and Trackhouse, I mean, I think he'll be all right.
You don't see, especially in NASCAR, a lot of Red Bull drivers,
Athletes.
athletes,
Yeah.
whatever they want to, and he's
Yeah.
just signed on to that, so it's a big deal for him.
Somebody else who beat SVG on a road course this weekend was Chris Buescher.
Buescher, I mean, that was
drove
that was an uncharacteristic mistake by
Yeah.
SVG into the bus stop, and
I was on the phone with Mike Davis while this thing was going on live, and I was way ahead of Mike.
Oh, that's
on the
no,
TV.
that's no fun.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, hold on a second. Like, I want to watch this last lap," and I'm calling it, and he's not seeing it. And he's cussing me, and when he hit that inside wall on the right side entering the bus stop, I was like, "Wow, I didn't see that coming." And then Buescher wasted no time to finish him off.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
I'll
he
give
shouldn't have,
SVG,
though.
and then I'll
Yeah.
give SVG mad props. He raced him extremely clean to the end.
they somebody I saw audio somewhere where it was like don't say you're gonna wreck the guy, but they're like, you know what you got to do here, and he responded with, I'm gonna do it the right way, or I'm gonna do it a clean.
Well, and
you have
honestly-
to in a part-time ride.
yeah,
you can't shoot.
especially playoff race.
Yeah,
What do you? I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean he raced him? Shane raced Chris very clean.
I think two things here are in play. I think number one, Shane comes from a world where if he moves him to win, he's penalized and he doesn't get the win. And I think that he wants his win to be, quote, clean, a clean pass. Would you deem Buescher's pass clean? I don't know. That's up to you. But I think that's number one. Number two, I think he realizes I'm in this series part-time this year. Next year, I'm full-time. I don't want to come into this with this rep. And I think when he gets here next year and he's in the same spot, if he were in the same spot next year with no wins, he moves him.
But was there not contact in the turn one on the restart?
I don't honestly remember turn one.
Yeah, Shane knocked Chris. He sent Chris into the corner harder than he wanted to go, which put Chris up. That's why he got the lead.
Good.
So, yeah, I mean, that's what she got, and he did it perfectly because
And listen, Shane raced like when Shane up the bus stop, gets wide into 5, and Chris, buries it on the bottom. Shane, I mean, he didn't cut him a break. He's trying to
he's trying to
hang a
pinch
right
him.
to pinch
Yes.
him down, and
Yes.
Chris just stays in there.
Chris was there. I mean, Chris got there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, that was
but that was hard racing. Like
no, that's how it should
That's
be.
the way it's
even
supposed to be.
even the bump into one, that was he cleared him by like a car length and a half. So he gave Chris a chance. Like he wasn't like, I'm wrecking you guys. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
win
didn't
the
just
race.
ship him into one.
He did it. I want to say respectfully. Like I thought it was a great race between both. of
The
them.
thing that was killing me at the end of that race is, which I don't. Were you watching the front row? I'm assuming,
Dude,
you were.
you really think
Hosts of
come on now?
How many times did Hocevar leave early on them last two
Oh my
restarts?
gosh! Like he's gonna do it too. Like
I think it was the second to last one. He went so early that he had to stop and go give
Yes.
it back.
I mean, yeah, I don't.
I was like, if he did, to his credit, he gave it back. But like, I'm like, I was like, oh, that's a penalty. Oh wait, he stopped. All right, he went so early, you had time to react to it in live time.
But I mean, let me ask you this: if it's like, oh, so if you to go early, you can give it back and still race the guy into the corner now?
Not
or-
supposed to.
No,
the
if
rule is the leader fires
goes
first. Yeah.
and if the leader doesn't fire first, then how is it?
Yeah, and the 77 definitely fired first
Oh.
on the last two restarts.
Yeah.
1,000%.
I mean, there's no. I mean, he was a half a car in the front of Chris into turn one in the last restart.
Yes.
I mean, Chris must just suck at restarts, I guess. Right? Yeah,
he's
terrible.
new to this. Oh yeah.
Hocevar was third yesterday?
Yeah,
I don't know where he finished.
He finished third,
He's
I
up
think.
there.
Yeah.
4 of his last 5 races are top 10s. 4 of his last 6, rather. 8th, 10th, 11th, 2 bad races, and then third. So
I'll tell you who
big
ran.
jump for Spire Motorsports.
I'll tell you who ran good yesterday was Zane. Zane was top 5 for most of the race. Then I think he got a penalty somewhere in the middle of the race. Went to the back and found his way back up there. He had a really good day yesterday. Them Spire cars, they were both top 5, and then I think Corey was 7th or 8th.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Corey had decent track position there for a while too.
Yeah, he
so
ran well.
He knocked a couple guys out of the way to do it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he might have.
Was he to blame for the first big wreck?
I mean, he's the one that initiated the contact. So I mean, it wasn't much, but it was at a bad spot.
He kind of looked to me like he got left into the bus stop and kind of dropped the left front off maybe.
Yeah.
And then Ty was up his ass too, so it wasn't like he could really check up at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
there wasn't much recovery room basically at that point when you miss the first left in the bus stop a little bit. That guy on your right, there's no room for air really right there. You don't have a half a car length or something, and he hit him. You know, maybe if he has Kyle at his door, he just uses Kyle up a little bit, and they both kind of slide through the rest corner and make it off. But when he clips Kyle in the left rear, that's going to spin him instantly like it did. So big wreck.
Big wreck.
One thing I want to touch on too before we dive into this thing is, man, we all saw that Tua concussion, right?
This past scary.
Scary. When you fans are watching wrecks happen, because it's easy to become somewhat immune to the danger of wrecks. These race car drivers, and not just NASCAR drivers, all race car drivers, when they have these vicious wrecks, their brain is bouncing off their skull inside their helmets. So when I saw that Tua thing, man, it initially brought me to, man, I've seen this guy have 2 or 3 really bad concussions to where he looks disabled on the field. And there's a lot of safety enhancements and credits that we give in the sport. But it also took me to, man, as we were getting ready to watch all these wrecks happen over the weekend, which we did, it's like, man, these guys I couldn't imagine strapping into these cars these days knowing what they know.
The first wreck, the wreck when LaJoie and Busch got together, Bubba was in the left lane. So I forget. I guess it had to be Kyle. I obviously not spotting back there, but we went left. I see us come through. The car doesn't look like it's got any damage, and I'm like, "Are we good?" And he's like, "No." He hit. What the problem was? He hit flush with the driver's side to the wall. Like just got on the grass, and that's just kind of trying to avoid the accident.
Hit, man.
And like I could tell, the car was fine, but I was like, we probably need a minute to get our together here. Like come down pit road.
And the car being fine may not be good for Bubba.
Yeah.
I mean, that may mean Bubba took the brunt of the crash.
Exactly
I saw the Larson wreck the week before. In 1 and 2 there, that was a nasty.
I heard
wreck.
Somewhere in the 40s on his
40 G's.
Yeah.
Fighter pilots black out at 11 G's.
Yeah.
And you're hitting flush at 40 G's. Which is why I bring it up is, let's not become immune to the dangers that this sport and all motorsports have, because these guys are crazy for doing what they do, and gals.
And I hate the Dolphins because I'm a Bills fan, but Tua is a class act guy, and he's been nothing but professional the whole time. So hopefully he's can recover well from this. And I read an article last night that he doesn't have any plans to retire. So,
and who are we to say?
It's his. Hey, it's
his.
Boy,
yeah. I sit there and watch that, and I was like, please don't play football again for your health. Because I know at 49, we were joking about it on the show with Karsyn, who's in her mid-lovely 20s. At 49, my body hates me. My collarbone, my elbow, my shoulder, like everything about my body hates me. And I'm not playing football at a professional level. No. And never have, never will, right? I can't imagine what he's going to have to go through.
I think that's why I told you guys I feel like I'm 40. Because I've beat the out of my body racing all these years.
Yeah, so you've been through some hellacious incidents.
We hung it up, though.
You did not hang it up. You're going to race again.
Semi.
Is it because Jimmy won't get the car running, right?
Yeah, until Jimbo gets me a motor, I do have it hung up.
We'll fix that.
All right, we have a special guest in the studio today, this weekend's Xfinity race winner, Connor Zilisch. Connor, welcome.
We spent the first half of the show blowing your head up. So.
Oh, really?
What?
TJ,
what better?
TJ, did you say some good stuff? You were on the radio the whole day.
I just
He
I
said
don't know how
good
you
stuff
do it.
about himself.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
He
you
bragged
do
about
it.
All
himself.
TJ said was green flag, and then
Yeah,
the next
pretty much.
word was clear by 50.
No,
Like, that's all he said.
normally you say
Slow down.
Yeah, normally you say clear a lot during a race. I said slow down more because I've got Andrew in my other year, and I could tell Andrew's getting nervous because when he's telling me like he's got to slow down more, and he kept his tone kept getting higher and higher and higher because you would come by, And we're like, oh man, we're going to like a 74-60 this lap. We're going to save fuel. You'd be like 73-80. I'm like, no, you slow down more. And I'm like, that's when it was to the point where I'm like, I want to hear you lift in front of me. And you would start running long gear, so it sounded like you were blowing up out of the last corner.
They said NASCAR
Oh,
literally was trying to tell them I was blowing up.
Yeah, they were getting ready to call
You
it
were
in.
blowing up. You were blowing up the competition.
Yeah, you come by me, and I'm like, I want to hear you lift. And he lifted, so
So
I mean,
so you take the green flag, initial green flag,
then the checker.
going to turn one.
Didn't miss
how
it.
much? How much was in your head? Like, I can't blow this.
I was the first. I broke before Ty.
Yeah.
I may have released a little bit and used them,
Used them up a little bit,
but
yeah.
I hit the brakes before he did.
I want to back up a little bit more. Going into the weekend, are you thinking I'm going to win this race?
Oh hell no,
No.
no. I mean, especially after looking at the entry list. I mean,
Cup,
all
yeah.
those guys: Willie B, Ty, Eric. I mean, Ross. He was in a DGM car, but
Who?
Ross. I mean, all those guys. I mean, it's just not intimidating for me, but it was just. I was excited for it, but I never thought I was going to win.
So what was a realistic goal?
Realistic goal, I'd say top 10, and I'm satisfied. Not happy, but top 5 I would have been happy. But then after practice and qualifying, I was like, all right, I got a chance to win this thing. So anything but that would have been probably frustrating.
Damn.
It was.
I don't know what it's like to be 18 years old and know that to be that. This is pissing me off.
Pissing me off too.
I look up and I think you won the first stage by what, like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
A couple guys had pit, but before they pit, you were still up. I don't know, 6-7 seconds on everybody. And then talk about obviously Saturday was a big deal. Did you even break a sweat on Friday? Like, I didn't even know you were like Jesse's sleeping in the spotter stand.
His tweet was funny. It was cool. I mean, that race on Friday, especially after last year, losing that one, he was an art. I mean, I kind of, if I didn't win that one, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good to get that one after last year. Getting
I laughed at
Jesse.
during the broadcast. They're like, you're coming to take the checker, and on Friday, and Trevor Bain said something about like, yeah, he's not even going to think about that last race, and I'm like, I bet you the first thing he mentions is I'm pissed off about last year, and as soon as you got in the interview, it's like, well, it sucked to finish second last year, but I got it back.
Yeah, no, I was that was a redemption for sure.
How pumped up does this make you moving forward? Like, I know that you knew this was going to be hard. You made it look easy. What's your head? Where are you even at in that head of yours?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, I don't want to get too pumped up because at the end of the day, I expect to be competitive on road courses, and I'm going to have a come back to reality moment when I show up to Kansas in 2 weeks. But I'm just excited. It's so cool, how many people.
What the hell is that noise?
Is that yours?
Oh, sorry. My phone does crazy things. Sorry.
It was just cool. All the Cup guys coming and saying congrats. And I walked pit road before the race on Sunday, and everybody, Joey came up to me, and a bunch of guys just congratulated me, and that was really cool. But it's not going to be every race ain't going to be like that. So it was cool to enjoy it, but definitely just gonna get back into my rhythm and start preparing for these last 3 this year with JRM.
Where do you have the most to learn for these mile and a halves?
Honestly, like Homestead running the fence. I've never run the fence before. That's going to be a learning process. But probably air. I just haven't really, especially in ARCA. Like ARCA, air's a big thing, but I haven't run in dirty air. Like I haven't.
We were talking about that
Will
earlier.
you just start last for the next one, please?
I know. I mean, it would be good for me to learn, but I just think getting behind guys, like qualifying, I'll probably qualify like outside the top 15, and I've never, been in that much dirty air before. So it's just going to be an eye-opening experience for me, I'm sure. And just want to run all the laps, though. These 3 races, I'm not racing for a championship. I don't have anything on the line. So just got to go out and enjoy it and run all the laps and learn as much as I can and just prepare myself for next year.
So, spoiler alert for later in the show. I have bad news. As great as you did this weekend, you are winning something else this week, and it's what an idiot. You and 2 other
Oh, my
guys.
gosh.
What went through your mind when you? I'm assuming you were just following.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. And then you hear the penalty, and you're like, you think your race is over at that point?
Oh yeah, I was like, I just choked. I have the fastest race car, and I just choked. But thankfully, we were able to get in our fuel window and bring it home, and it was honestly a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I was like, okay, if Ty and Sam, these guys have been doing this for 3 years, 4 years, whatever. I'm like, if they're gonna do it, I'm sure they know something I don't. I literally turned into the corner and I saw them go. I was like, maybe they know something I don't. So I was like, I'm just gonna follow them, do what they do, because I don't know.
Let me back up for you just a second and tell you how this goes. When they do that, it can be that the tower has told the spotters, take them straight through the bus stop because NASCAR has something they want to do. But if you break the rule, all that happens is they call you in the truck after the race and cuss you out. That's better than getting black flagged.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Believe me.
I literally thought your race was over at that point. I thought all 3 years were
Yeah, I
done
did
at
too.
that point. I was
I
like,
did too.
oh my God, he's never going to live this down. This
Yeah.
is worse than turn one.
Yeah, I know. If I got mired back and like ran 20th because of that, like, oh my, I wouldn't hear the end of it.
Talk about, I mean, I don't know how you did it, but not only did you save enough fuel to win the race, you had enough fuel to like run around, do 16 burnouts, like do another lap. Like how hard is that process? Especially I've spotted for drivers where you tell them to save fuel and it changes the way you drive, and all of a sudden you're on a different wavelength. Like Chandler, was at Vegas that year. Like we tried to save fuel and we lost a race, because of it. How hard is that to be out front trying to pace yourself and save fuel at the same time?
Yeah, it was. I think it helped that we were so fast. It made it a little bit easier because I was saving so much fuel. Like I wish I had an onboard to show how much I was saving, like how much fuel I was saving. Because it was. I don't think people realize how much I was really saving. Like everyone's like, oh, he's still going faster than them. Like he's not even saving it all. Like I was like, literally I'd come off turn 3, the S's onto the back straight. And as soon as my hands got straight off the S's, I was out of the gas. I was just coasting. I would, usually my brake marker into the bus stop was probably the 500-600. I was going so slow. Like I was coasting. I would literally hit the brakes at the 200 or the 300. Like I was coasting all the way down the back straight. I'd lift at the flag stand into 1. People thought I was blowing up because I was pulling 4th gear like it's 8,000 RPM when the chip's at 88. Like I was just doing everything I could. And, I knew that I had 6 seconds out back and I had plenty of space. And I was honestly content with them catching me and getting within 3 or 4. But I didn't want to go. Like I couldn't go any slower. Like I was like, it's going to be painful to go any slower than this.
Is that what surprised you the most?
Yeah, like what like the speed?
Yeah, no, just in the race in general. What surprised you the most in that start? Because it's all new to you in that series.
Honestly, like when I restarted 13th and especially coming from the back, like just how much speed we had, like it was crazy. Like I would pass someone and I'd run, if I had clean track, I'd run 3 corners and I'd look in my mirror and like I wouldn't even see
They're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. And then like I was talking to Sheldon yesterday, like I passed him into 1, I think, or somewhere, and like he was like, we went through the S's and you were like clear by 20. I was like, yeah, it was surprising to me. That's probably what shocked me the most, was just how the difference in speed, like how good our car was.
Yeah, I got a question about what you're wearing. You're obviously now a Red Bull athlete. How does that happen? Do you contact them? They contact you? And that is huge for your brand.
Yeah, it's really big and it's so cool. Like since I was a kid, I mean, everybody knows like Red Bull athletes are known for jumping out of planes and doing cool stuff. But yeah, it's huge for me, and it came together. SVG obviously comes from New Zealand and racing V8 supercars, and he's been a Red Bull athlete for a long time. And then Scott Speed also, he was a big part of it. So he's
awesome. He's
working with Chevrolet and helping all the drivers. Kind of just with Josh Wise, and he's just another guy over there that we can lean on. So he's been a Red Bull athlete for over 15 years, I think, for a long time.
Longer, yeah.
So he's been a part of that group for a long time, and I've worked closely with him for the last 3 or 4 years, and I've known him for a long time. His dad owns a go-kart team, and I've kind of grew up around him, so I've known Scott for a long time, and it kind of just came together through Scott. Everybody at Trackhouse, just kind of right place, right time. Fell into my lap, and it's cool. I mean, 18 years old, Red Bull athlete, and Red Bull is such an iconic brand, and it's just going to be cool to be a part of it, and all this cool stuff that I'm going to get to do, go to the F1 races, and just everything, all the events that they do. It's going to be really cool.
My favorite Red Bull athlete is the snowboarder, the Flying Tomato. Hands down, can you give me an autograph, you think?
I could probably pull something off.
I think,
what do I get in return?
Whatever you want, man.
Okay. I think what most of our listeners would like to know is how much have you tortured Jesse over the last 48 hours about just kicking his ass this week in your first time?
Jesse. It's funny. Actually, we went to breakfast the next morning, and I paid for his breakfast. I was like, I got you this time, bud.
Jeez.
But it was
Rub it
cool.
in.
I was excited to beat him in that one, and it was funny because when I was coming back through the field, I caught him in stage 3, and he was like racing really hard with Sheldon, like blocking Sheldon down the back and everything. I got by Sheldon, and I got up to Jesse, and Jesse just pointed me by, and Jesse said Sheldon was flipping him off. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, because like it was crazy. Another thing that shocked me, I'd say, I don't want to guess wrong, I'd say 70% of the cars I caught pointed me by.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing. And when you are spotting, like if like we're at a road course and, if your guy's not like struggling, but if I'm spotting for a guy that's not a great road course racer and somebody goes to the back, like AJ for years or SVG, like you're only going to hurt yourself trying to hold this guy back. Like, so just let him go and then follow him for as long as you can. It's probably 3 corners, but like follow them and see what you can learn. But yeah, so that makes life and it's awesome that you have that respect already. But just people recognize how fast you are, and they're just not. It's not worth trying to hold you back because you're going to get there eventually.
Yeah, that was really cool, and I probably realistically passed 5 cars, like passed.
Yeah.
Other than that, like SVG is funny. We were going down the back straightaway, and he pulled right. I thought he was going to block me, and I kind of followed him, and then he lifted, and I about ran him over. I was like, oh. So yeah, it was cool. All the guys that I was catching, kind of pointed me by, and
You going to return the favor one day?
I hope so. I hope I'm slow enough one day to return the favor, because I felt bad. I was like, man, I don't know. I'm this new guy, and that's also speaking of
guy. He said.
Speaking of being a rookie, I feel like on the restarts, because last year obviously Ty and Sam, but for me, I feel like I was kind of worried that they were going to wreck me, or not wreck me, but move me or do something. But at the same time, when it's your first race, I feel like for me, if I was racing against a rookie, like I wouldn't want to be the one to start something. And I feel like that kind of played into my favor. Like it was my first race, and those guys, if they have a past or they've raced against each other before, they don't really have like a reason not to. But for me, like nobody wanted to be the first one to disrespect me, because you don't want to be the person who starts bad blood in a relationship.
I thought you were in
like
trouble.
that.
I think it was the second to last restart. I'm watching it on TV because my guy's in the garage, and AJ yanks out of line, and I'm like, oh, here, that's AJ. You know what I mean? That's the guy for a long time, and like you just like, oh, he's gonna send it in there, but he didn't. Like like you said,
he played it cool. I mean and he was at my quarter, and he was in there, and it was funny because that's one thing that I focused on, like watching back races, like the middle and on restarts is really good. So when I started shading and he kept following me, I eventually got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm gonna let him have it and give him the bottom. And thankfully he didn't get into me too bad.
TJ was on social media. He may or may not know this, complimenting your car control during the race. People were quoting what you were saying over the radio on Channel 2.
Oh.
They didn't quote when you were talking about it. They were just the nice stuff.
I was getting ready to say that.
Freddie was complimenting you in the first part of this show. Like, I want you to explain to fans, because they hear car control, we talk car control. What does it actually mean to a driver?
It's hard to put it into words. But it's just being on the limit of the tire and not being over the tire. Like a lot of the guys that I'm behind, I feel like when I was catching them, they're pushing in the wrong spots and not pushing they're not getting the most out of it in the right spots. Like exit of the corner, they're driving off really straight and like not using the tire at all. Like it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't really understand it. But like on the exits of the corners, like I am never like just driving off straight. Like I'm always trying to create shape, and that's one thing that I see other guys not doing, is they're just not maximizing the grip that they have, and that equals speed. Like using the tire and using the grip that you have equals speed. And the guys that kind of I was around and following, and especially guys at the front, just like even off the second to last corner, like I was just using way more track than them and like just carrying speed, momentum, and other guys were kind of slowing it down and point and shoot, and it works at some places, but Watkins Glen's such a high speed, flowy track, just different, and just keeping the car underneath you. Like I never was abusing the rumble strips because, in ARCA practice, I quartered a tire actually, out there in the rumble strips. So just keeping it underneath me and, long run speed, we had him killed. Like Ty could stay with me like in the first stage for 3 or 4 laps. But after 3 or 4 laps, like it was like 8/10 a lap.
How did those, we were talking about earlier, how did those recessed rumble strips off of basically 1 and 5, did they have any effect really on the car? Like
you lost a little bit of drive. Like you couldn't quite put it down quite as good out there, but like restarts and stuff, like you were abusing it. Like it didn't really change the restarts.
Yeah. With winning comes an entourage, and your whole entourage in here is saying you got to go.
Oh,
you got to get you back to the corporate office.
We're throwing them out.
Kicking me out already? Dang.
Get out.
You're getting called on the carpet
Nice
after
to see
you.
Jeez.
Well, thanks, guys.
Ring the bell is a big deal at JRM,
I know, Wednesday.
man.
Yeah.
What am I going to? I don't know what.
Wednesday.
You can drink
Beer
Red
toast.
Bull.
I'm gonna
Red Bull.
milk toast.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
Red Bull. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
Well, we appreciate you coming by.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Well, I don't know what else you're gonna do this
Try
year.
to do a little
but-
better in your next start.
Yeah, I don't know what took you so long to win, but
Let us know if you want to take a step on Miami with you.
I actually
Okay.
took a little offense to this not qualifying in the top 15 at Kansas. What the hell?
I mean, I was just guessing. I'm going to be in dirty air more than I'll.
he
more
thought
than
he
I've
was
ever been.
qualifying.
He didn't think he was gonna run top
we're
10
gonna put it on
Saturday.
the
By
poll
the
of
way.
Kansas.
No.
All right, you heard it here first.
Top 10.
Put it on the poll of Kansas.
Keep kicking ass, man. We're pulling for you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you coming
We're
down.
taking all the credit, too. Everybody comes on here wins.
It's all spotter, TJ.
Yeah. Lift earlier. Lift earlier.
TJ said slow down the whole race. That's
yeah,
all he did.
That's all. Yeah. It's not very often you have to do that.
All right, well, we appreciate Connor joining us. We're going to take a break, and we will return with Spot On, Spot Off. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book.
Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV.
Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime.
Just visit FanDuel.com/DBC to download America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in North Carolina. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. After being told by NASCAR to park his car after being involved in a Lap 1 accident, Blaney said, "They don't even give us a chance, just ended our day before we even know what kind of damage we're dealing with." And now he is currently plus 29 to the cut line. Spot on, spot off, Freddie.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like he couldn't drive it back. The car wouldn't steer. Like basically, like I don't know what was broken in the front suspension, but they said like he couldn't steer the car, so you can't drive it back. They tow it. I guess their rule is if they tow you back with damage, you're out of the race. I don't understand what the difference is between that and if you have 4 flat tires and they tow you back. Like, don't you still have damage? Like, I don't know why one's different than the other. I don't know why they wouldn't tow him to his pit box. Like that's what they do with the flats, right? They tow you to the pit box, and you look at it, and if it's you go to the garage, your day's over. At the same time, the 47 was driving his car around. He broke, I don't even know, something in the left rear suspension, like a lower control arm.
Yeah.
And easy fix, 2 bolts, two ends, like take the bolts out, change that arm, put it back. But it's a part that you can't change on pit road. For whatever reason, they have a rule that like there's certain stuff you can change, like the toe links. So they're like, we could fix this right now in probably 10 minutes and be done. But no, so he was out too for this, similar deal. So I don't know. I don't love the fact that we do this with the crash damage, the DVP policy and all that stuff, because we don't want cars out there running around with falling off of them like modifieds back in the day where they look like, no nose on them whatsoever. But something like this, if it can be fixed, which I don't even know at this point if it could be fixed or not, but you would want them to have a chance to fix it, or at least get a chance to look at it. And that didn't seem like that was the case yesterday.
Why can't they just carry the clock to the garage? You know what I mean? Like, hey, you're gonna have to. You have obvious suspension damage. Instead of towing you to pit road and sitting there for 7 minutes because they don't want to open pit road and put them guys in danger, which I get. It's a tight pit road there anyway. You don't need to have a car sitting in a stall on jack stands or something with guys underneath it. Tow it to the garage and put them on the clock there. I mean, hey, when as soon as this tow truck drops you, It's the
You
clock
could
starts.
do it like a damn hot pit, like the work area for a sprint car race. You know,
Yeah,
you got to go to this area when you're going to work on your car.
I mean, if they
doesn't
can
have to be
fix
your
it,
garage,
if they
but-
can fix it in the correct amount of time to get it where it can run a competitive speed, I mean, I think there maybe should be a way to work to that where we could. That's possible.
I don't know if they could have fixed that car in 7 minutes. I'm not
I don't
a
know
mechanic.
either.
I'm not an engineer, and I'm not going to pretend to be one here. What I will tell you is we said going into these first 3 races, these are 3 wild card racetracks where anything can happen. And the first race, it did. The second race, it did. And now we're off to Bristol, where one mess up on a restart will easily tear up 8 cars.
Yeah.
So I think this was a product of a wild card race. Anytime we have a crash in any form of these double file restarts, there's going to be a lot of cars torn up, and that's exactly what happened. Somebody made a mistake, and we had a lot of carnage, and it got a lot of big names.
It did.
It was
First lap.
at least 3 playoff guys. I know it was Denny,
Yeah.
Bell. And,
I thought it got
and-
us. I mean,
and
Blaney hit us.
Yeah,
and
you were right in the middle of it.
Yeah, we lifted, and the hot tub machine come in there.
Hot tub machine.
Nah, I mean it's the way things opened up right there. Like, man, things happen so quick. And honestly, Kyle, when he started wrecking, he was to the right, and then when he quit wrecking, he was to the left, and the whole field's coming through there. So
There's no, and I know you know this, you both know this, there's no more helpless feeling than when your car's on the other side of the racetrack and you hear your other spotter go, check out the left leg.
and
You know?
where we're at,
It's like,
we can see the bus stop, just like you can see a car like shoot through there. And when you see dust and stuff over there, you're like, oh God, like you see the dust cloud, and it's not good.
I've never been so nervous as to be like on pit road during qualifying because you can't see the car,
Yeah.
or to hear that spotter talking when
Yep.
you can't see your car because you're like, and then you're like, please tell him the right thing to do. You know, not that the guy is good or bad, but it's like you can't see what he's telling him. It's tough.
My guy was go right, go left. I'm like, oh, this is not good. when you switch directions in mid sentence, it's like, oh God, we're gonna hit. Hold the brake. You okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
We're in it, guys. We're in it.
get it rolling if
Yeah,
you
we
can.
literally went. I think he went. No, he started with left. He's like, go left, right. I'm like, oh no, not good. But we made it. So good job, Brian.
All right. After questionable strategy in Atlanta and desperate moves at Watkins Glen, Denny Hamlin is now 6 below the cut line. During his post-race interview, he mentioned the variety of tracks in this year's playoff as the reason, but Denny has no one to blame but himself for the hole he's in. Spot on, spot off.
Wow.
That-
There was intent there in
Did
your voice.
Did you read that, or is that you?
Yeah,
I'll leave that
I
up
heard
for
it.
I'll leave
I
that
heard
up
it.
for everybody to decide.
I was taken aback by that.
I mean, after what he said about spotters, man,
You're right, Karsyn. I agree with you.
I got to ride with y'all. You know?
I
Spot
mean,
on, spot off. Go.
Denny's. I mean, he's right, man. I mean, you go through these, you kind of. He last week's kind of biting him a little bit right now. I mean, I wish if he could go back and do it again, I bet he races his tail off in Atlanta.
You just can't. I know
take a race off.
He looked at he's looking at it analytically, and he said 75 points gets you to the second round. And if you look at it, it probably will.
Yeah, I agree.
And he had whatever he started with, I think 15 maybe playoff points, and he said if I just get 20 each race, that gets me to 75, and I transfer. The problem is you forfeit racing last week, and now you get like he was expecting to go there, get stage points, run well, probably top 10, I would think, and now you're digging your way out of a hole, like because you can't forfeit a race in this format. Like I get what you're trying to do, but now look like it's all null and void if he transfers. But if he doesn't transfer, you're going to be regretting that Atlanta race to no end, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how the guy who made the mistake over the engine sleeps at night this week. How many playoff points did it cost him?
10, I think, right?
It changed the approach in my mind to how he went about Atlanta. And this is going to be one of the biggest letdowns in all of sports history for me as a fan, if a guy of his talent level and his speed with the team and resources that they have, if they flop out of here on the first round. With Chris Gabehart and the guys that I know are on that team and how good that pit crew is, this is big news. I mean, is he in a must-win, you think?
No, he's only 6.
He's not a must-win. Bristol's one of his better tracks. If he
Bristol's
goes,
one of his better tracks.
He's won the last 2 or 3 there.
If he
He's won
goes
the
and runs
last
top
two.
5 at Bristol in both stages and finishes the race off in there, he'll transfer.
He's only
But-
6 out, right?
But he got in a
Yeah.
la-
Yeah.
he got in a wreck on lap 1 at Watkins Glen. That could
I mean,
easily
That can
happen.
look at Joey Logano last year.
And-
And Joey's just riding around, and I think Corey and Eric Jones got
Yeah.
into it. And
Chris
just
Gabehart is going to spend all week stressing about qualifying, and he's going to spend all week with an immense amount of priority on qualifying.
Yeah.
They cannot go out and qualify worse than 15th because
mean,
it puts you in a hard position to get the
it's
points
tough.
for the stage, and
You're in
it
the
puts
middle
you-
of the
you're in the middle of the you're in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
hornet's nest where the wrecks happen. And man, I know Denny Hamlin loves pressure. I know he thrives on pressure. I think he's going to walk in here cool, calm, collected, ready to go. But there's so many things out of your control, and he's going to have to go in here and control what he can. But I'm man,
to be honest, he's very lucky to only be 6 out.
100%.
Because he was looking like he was going to be probably close to 15 out.
Yeah.
All race long until all hell breaks loose
Yeah.
at the end. So yeah, but I mean,
Well, that's what hurt us. I mean, what are we, 12 out or something like
yeah, I
that
don't
now?
know.
That wreck, we were the first car. When that wreck started, we were the first car with 4 tires, and I feel like we were gonna probably get.
make hay.
Yeah, we were gonna make some. I think we were gonna finish top 10.
Yeah.
and for the day that we had, that would have been an amazing accomplishment to finish top 10 from compared to the day we were having. But that right there, I mean, that we were probably, I mean, we're 12 out now. I feel like we would have had more than 12 points right there. So we would have been on the cut line or maybe in right now. But just like that, you're not.
Who all are must wins? You think?
well, Harrison.
Harrison Burton,
Yeah,
Who's
MTJ,
MTJ? I don't.
14
I think
out.
he could. Listen, we
you don't
went
have to must win at
But
14.
Bubba went into Bristol last year 21 or 19 out, and we made it on points.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I mean, Harrison's must.
Do you
win.
remember how many points you scored that race?
No,
I think
sure
you need
could
50
look it up.
points. I think you got like
No,
an arc-
we didn't have that many.
I feel like we like being 12
we
out
didn't,
right now. We need like
didn't
50.
run. What we got the break of Joey wrecked, so Joey was
Oh,
out,
yeah.
and
That's
then
right.
and then we made up. You know, but I mean, we finished 12th, maybe something like
Yeah.
that. Like it wasn't like we didn't have a phenomenal run. We just did enough to get in.
Yeah.
But you know, like Denny's point, like you know, he his threshold of 75 points. He needs 32 points this week, and
Yeah.
that's, you know, if you go out there and win both stages, that's 20, and you get, you know, you can, it's easier path to get there. But you've put yourself in a corner, you know, right out of the jump.
No, yeah. I mean, we're right there. So
There's a lot of controversy surrounding the late race restarts. Martin Truex Jr. making the comment, it's crazy how it comes down to this. How can these guys call themselves professionals when all they do is drive through you? Even Connor's crew chief was beside himself and said it was embarrassing and no respect among any of the drivers, lacking professionalism. Brett, spot on, spot off.
You know, you hate to hang this on the governing body, but I think that this is a result of the playoff format, the way these stages are set up, and the way that points are so important to help you advance and help you in the standings. And there's millions of dollars on the line. There's trophies on the line. And unless things are ruled and deemed illegal, and at this point, I don't know where that line is at. And obviously, Austin Dillon didn't know where that line was at. He later found out that they thought he crossed it. But until we know where the line is and it's enforced consistently, I think this is always going to live in
Just keep
NASCAR.
pushing and pushing.
And we live in a world where win at all costs. And I've said it on here a million times. And SVG was not in a position yesterday to have to win at all costs. But there's a lot of scenarios I could put in front of him where he could be, and I bet he changes his mind on how he races.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The biggest thing for me, especially on the Cup side, why I think a lot of the times, especially road courses, short tracks for the most part, even sometimes even mile and a half, you can't hurt these cars. You know, back in the day, you wouldn't run into somebody because you were going to get a tire rub. You were going to knock a fender in. You were going to. We were talking about it yesterday with Juan. Juan was in our hauler getting ready, and Bubba and Blaney are like, Bubba and Reddick are like, this is a different animal than what you used to drive. Like if you just square a guy up, you can kind of hit him as hard as you want. You're not gonna hurt your car.
You
know,
can go
like,
20 miles an hour faster than him and just nail it.
like you can when there is a wreck, don't try to steer around it. Kind of just square it up, and because when you try to move, you know, if you try to go right or left, you might tear a fender off or hit a wheel and do more damage. But like you can't hurt these cars. Like you don't have the back in the day where you had fender rubs and you could knock the nose off. So that's what's happening, I think, on these restarts. These guys just go in the corner and just drive into each other because you can't have damage. And then on Saturday, like that race, I was out. We had broke an axle or something and we were in the garage, but I sat in the car for an hour waiting for 4 laps. And the same guy won the race that was going to win it an hour ago, but you wrecked a load of cars in the process because you have these restarts. And I've died on this hill before on here, and I just end the race. Green, white, no green, white checkers.
I think the lower you get in the series, the more that becomes. They're younger. They're hungrier, I guess. They're not as experienced at doing things, and honestly, that car is probably more difficult to drive with the wheel hop and stuff when you get into the corner too deep. Because it's been a long time since I've seen a guy wheel hop into one in a cup car and spin out. Like, you used to see it multiple times a weekend, but you don't see that anymore. Now, man, these guys, like, from the third row back, somebody's going 3 and 4 wide. And that move. It's almost like the pit road move at Indy, the road course, where you could pretty much go down there and force somebody to wreck on the outside. When you dive down there all the way to the grass, you're basically just trying to force everybody out. Somebody's going to get spun out. And the cup guys aren't as bad at it. They're a little bit better at it, but man, the Xfinity race, it gets.
The Cup guys aren't a whole lot better. I mean, they were running each other over the 2 restarts late in the S's, but they just.
But it's kill or be killed. It's run over or get run over.
Yes.
So I don't know what. Like, I hear all y'all complaining about the integrity is in jeopardy. I don't know how you fix it with the rules. You have to fix the rule, and then you have to make the call, and then you have to enforce the call. You have to be consistent with the call. Do we really want to go down that path?
No,
we don't.
Think it is.
But
you're not going to go down that path.
But then we're just going to keep about it.
I mean, the only thing you can do is just show these guys, look, if you guys wreck, the race is over. You're not going to gain any spots anyway.
And the problem is, y'all say, okay, only do 1 green, white checker. Well, then that makes it even worse because this is it. There is no more.
Yes, but it also, it takes the guy that, a lot of times when you have multiples, you just have that guy that's running 25th, and then he misses the 2 wrecks, and he's top 10. It takes away a little bit of that, and some of these guys are good enough where they'll take somebody and they'll just knock them into it and be like, "Oh, look, you started it." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's a good answer for it.
The thing that drives me crazy, and I know nobody wants to end their race under yellow. It sucks, whatever. But if you're watching that race on TV Saturday and there's 3 to go, now they have a big wreck. Now what you're watching is them clean the racetrack up for 30 minutes. Then, okay, great. Now we're going to roll off. Now we're going to go green again. Oh, got good news. We got through 3 corners, and then the whole field wrecked again.
Yeah.
And the same guy that was going to win the race an hour ago still won the race now. Like, just end the race.
So
like,
is this just a road course thing, or
no, it's everywhere. What I mean? Like Nashville this year, like everywhere we go, we do this. Like, if anytime
Nashville was really bad.
Yeah, like you just listen. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but just end race. My God.
So my question here is, like, we've moved to and not that this would change it for the other tracks, we've moved to the restart line before a corner. Does that help the Glen? Because most of the wrecks happen at the Glen are into 1.
Yeah.
And if you have them spread out more before they get to 1, they're going to be spread out even more by the time they get to the bus stop.
I feel like the wrecks were happening into the S's more so than into 1. They kind of start in 1 because guys get positioned on each other.
They get all jammed up.
But then, like, when they funnel into the S's is where the wreck starts.
I will tell you, as a true fan of racing, it is frustrating to watch how far, quote, out of bounds these guys are going.
And they still they put the recessed rumbles out there, and it didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, you don't run quite as wide. Like,
it's a joke,
but you still run wide.
It's a joke. You're 7 car widths away from the curb.
I thought the racing was better because I did notice they stayed a little tighter than last year, and I thought the tighter the outside guy has to hold the guy to the right, I think it makes it better racing.
I wonder if the drivers felt the noise and sound like you do when you're on interstate.
I know.
So loud. When they went out there.
Wakes you right up.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were doing. They were out there, and I was like, I wonder if they're funny. Whoa.
Yeah. What can they do, though, to fix it? You know what I mean? Like, what can you do?
We said put barriers, put tires, put those damn rental car things that you're scared to death to back over when you turn a rental car in. Them spikes.
You can't run wide.
You look at them and know you got to go over them the right way, and you're like, I'm a little nervous about going over these things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Split spikes out
I just
there.
don't know. I don't know how you fix it.
Put oil slick. Remember that game that you could hit that button, hit oil slick? Karsyn has no idea what we're talking about. It's like a Knight Rider game.
Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Kit.
Yeah, Kit.
Was
She's
that
like, what are we talking
yeah.
about?
She
right
has
now?
no
It's
idea.
okay.
Yeah.
All our listeners are old like we are, so.
Hello, Michael.
See, listen how nostalgic that felt. Hello, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we will be right back with Reaction Theater, brought to you by Consumer Cellular.
Now it's time for our favorite segment, Reaction Theater, where it's your turn to be heard. Reaction Theater is brought to you every week by Consumer Cellular.
Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as leading carriers, but the plans as low as $20 a month.
If you're paying too much for wireless service, pump the brakes and switch to Consumer Cellular. They offer big wireless coverage without the big wireless cost.
And now, once you turn 50, you can get 2 lines of unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 each. That's $60 a month.
So why keep spending more than you have to? Be a winner with Consumer Cellular and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
This rate plan requires 2 lines of service, age verification, and credit approval. Subject to system and area limits, taxes and fees apply.
Don't look now. Ford's got her boobs out, showing everybody in town. Oh, it's 4 weeks in a row, boys. Let's go Big Blue Oval. Holla.
Has Ford won 4 races in a row?
Does Ford have...
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Ford has boobies.
Ford's got boobs, I guess, apparently. Headlights are on. I don't know.
Well, boys, I got another drinking game for you.
Oh, Jesus.
Take a drink every time the good old Xiaflex Peyronie's disease commercial comes on. Come on, there's kids watching NASCAR, guys. What is this? Nobody wants to see the bent carrot, all right? Nobody wants to see it. Brett's laughing right now. I can feel it. Go on.
I didn't know this was a thing. And they keep showing this bent carrot thing advertising.
Is that the
I didn't
advertising?
realize there were that many bent carrots in the world.
If
What's a
you or
bent
a loved
carrot?
one have been
It's
affected by a bent carrot,
It's curved pit road.
Oh. that's how they're describing it now? As
Well,
a
it's
bent
Peyronie's
carrot?
disease, right? Is the name of it, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
TJ, you got a bent
you
carrot.
know, looking
dude.
back, there was this one guy on the football team,
Oh, no.
Lee Bracey.
No, it's just... Do we
Well,
want
you
to
got to use
I
his
don't-
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
a
Lee.
bent carrot?
Poor Lee got a curved pit road.
I didn't know it had a name for it though. Bent carrot.
That's why that tire got away on us, because the pit road curved down at the end there. Goes downhill towards turn 1. It's terrible.
So they show this commercial
I
a
feel
lot.
like this should be on like a Call My Daddy podcast or whatever that.
call her daddy.
Call my daddy.
Call my daddy.
Well, I don't know what the name of the show is.
This is a perfect spot for BetterHelp to come back and help you guys here.
You have trouble? Call BetterHelp.
Yeah, you guys need better help.
Just need help in general.
A lot of it.
Oh my!
So what is
gosh.
this? What do you take a pill and it makes it straight?
I don't know. I
You think you gotta like hammer it
I
or
don't.
something?
I don't think you want to hammer it. I'm not. I can't say for sure, but I don't think hammers
I
and
don't think
that would go well.
I'm gonna do some research.
Don't let us know. Don't let us know.
Don't do any research on this.
I wouldn't Google it if I was you. I'm just gonna say. I
Do
don't-
not report your findings.
Hey Siri,
Did I tell you?
how many people have bent carrots?
I don't know if I've talked about it on here. Hey, Siri. Megan made a very big mistake recently, like
Oh,
maybe
no.
2 months ago.
Bent carrot?
She said, "Where are we going to dinner?" I said, "Milf's," and she said, "All right." And she looked it up on Google. Milf's menu.
Milf's minute.
I bet that offering was astonishing.
She couldn't find the Krabby Fries on that menu. I don't.
Oh
think.
my
You
god!
can find the crabs, maybe not the fries.
Crabs hold the fries.
Extra crabs.
Next.
Watkins Glen does it again. Oh, what a finish. I was hoping that Chris Buescher would drive it in deep, Austin Dillon style, but he actually got to him. And, oh, man, Chris Buescher defended America right there from the invasion. God bless America. Score 1 for the NASCAR regulars. Woo!
God bless America. I agree. Our pre-race meeting, we told Juan to look out for Ricky. We said we don't know what it is, but like
International drivers, he's attracted
he's
to.
gonna wreck. Yeah.
I just wanted to let everybody know that King's Hawaiian rolls, not that soft and fluffy. Just ask Ryan Blaney.
Hey, you guys remember last year when Brett Keselowski was pooping with his helmet on in the porta potty? Well, I don't think he made it out of the seat after that one. He got Denny beat. Go 5.
Joey Logano is the biggest piece of I've ever seen in my life. How sorry is that to turn Brad like that? I mean, this guy sucks. The only person that sucks worse than him is the Gamecock kicker. I mean, come on. Either him or the Sheldon Creed, who always finishes second and never finishes. Give me a break, man.
Is it Joey
That
W?
was not me.
Is it Joey W?
You sure that wasn't you?
That he definitely wrecked us.
I am so excited to watch Ryan Blaney go out there and whoop everyone's butt here and go bowling. Wait, it's only... Honey, draw up the bath. I'm going to get my toaster. Go Blaney.
We got toaster baths every week.
So many toaster baths.
He is kind of an all or nothing guy right now.
I would agree.
Yeah, and I mean, nothing of his doing this week. It's just
No.
Who? Ryan?
Blaney, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a wreck, and it happens.
Denny Hamlin and the 11 team already in postseason form. Normally they save this type of performance for the round of 8 at least, but he's gonna get out of the He's gonna get out of the playoffs early so he can start focusing on what matters to him, playing pickleball.
Yeah, I think that Denny probably needs to ship his dog Lulu to Springfield, Ohio. That thing seems to be bad luck.
A lot of hate, a lot of Lulu hate in the world today.
All in, huh? We're going all in. All in the dumpster. And boom, there goes Denny. This gonna be the first one out the first round. He's done, bro. His round is over. This is the beginning of the decline of Denny Hamlin. He's done.
I don't think he's an 11.
This is easily fixed. He just needs to say I love spotters, because his bad luck and downfall started when he threw hate and shade on you guys.
It did.
You guys?
He's part time. He doesn't count
still.
Yeah.
A little.
Sometimes that's true.
I don't know if he, the bottom of the S is there. Definitely gonna need a spotter there. Like that's a tough area to be in. Like 3 wide through there.
3 wide.
It's tight already with 2 wide. A 3 wide, and I don't really. What did you see happen there? Did Denny close the door?
It looked like Denny kind of squeezed it a little bit.
Yeah,
I thought.
I think the 5 was probably, and at that point, man, if the 5's a foot off the curb, Denny's not expecting it.
Was that you? Were
we were in the middle.
Yeah,
we were on the.
That's right. I forgot you wrecked my ball.
That's your shit.
Yeah. Oh no, no.
Thanks. I don't know how. Listen, I don't know how in the hell Denny's car was running. Like he wrecked on lap 1. Obviously, they had a lot of damage. I think they fixed
did a
the
good
toe
job
link.
fixing it. Yeah,
and then he bounced off every wall in the S's. And then he's still running, and then he ends up. I think he finished like 22nd, 23rd, something like that. Like, I don't know how the hell he managed to pull that off.
I think we finished.
That was like a win.
We finished 26, so we probably cost us at least 10, 12 points. So it would be right there. So
hey guys, I just got home from the Xfinity race this weekend, and I know this is probably going to make Freddie and Brett mad, but I just really want to give TJ his flowers. Him and his whole crew really helped. Connor get the win today. Listening to TJ's radio, and he was helping coach him throughout the whole final run, and I just thought it was really impressive. You guys did a great job.
Clear by 90. You're
All
doing great.
I'm saying is I'm leaving the Glen, and here comes a sheriff with his lights, his sirens, everything, and I'm thinking, who the hell is this? This has got to be someone important. No, it's TJ.
Did you get a police escort out of the train?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You're lying.
Did you for real?
You're such a liar.
I don't
You
actually know what you're
lying.
talking about. But
You're lying.
No, I was going in the track.
Oh.
Like I couldn't after the Xfinity race. I'm driving back in. I had to go to like gate 204 out around.
I tried to go pick somebody up in the bus stop. Not happening.
I was trying to go inside, and I was staying anyway for a little while. I got to the tunnel. I had to go probably where you went to gate.
I was in the front. I was in the main gate.
Yeah, well, I went all the way around to some other gate through the campground, and then I get right to the gate, and they wouldn't let anybody. There's gaps, like there's nobody coming for 30 seconds, and I'm like, can I not just go in? And I sit there. I didn't say anything, just wait. And finally, this cop comes up to me, and he's just talking BS. He's like, you trying to? I'm like, yeah, just trying to go in. And he's like, all right. And the other guy comes walking up. He's like, hey, how's your day going? Hey, he's like, I only been spit on once by some woman, and I'm like, oh gosh. He's having a bad day.
That's a hell of a weekend.
So I'm just BSing with the cop a little bit.
The Hawk Tula girl?
You think that's right? Never mind.
So the cop goes, well, I'm just patient. Not, we're joking around a little bit. And he's like, who you spot for? I'm like, oh, Brad. He's like, oh, you're going to need to find another job. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll spit on you. And he goes, man, he's like, it's kind of slowing down. I've been there for like 15 minutes already. He's like, hey, I'm just going to throw my lights on. Just follow me in. Where are you going? DO lot or whatever? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I'd follow him in. And then I saw him again Sunday.
So they wouldn't let you in the tunnel?
No.
Egress only.
You couldn't get inside. So, but he was nice enough after. I mean, it had been a while. It was slowing down. And there was a random team van basically coming out every now and then. And he's just like, yeah, just follow me.
They used to send him over the racetrack.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there used to be better ways to get out. There still is, because that's how I left. But leaving was easy as could be as well.
Someone needs to have a nice sit-down talk with Jeff Burton about what his problem is with New Zealanders. Oh, there's no way SVG is going to get around Truex. The clean air too much. Oh, he got around him. Oh, he completely cleared out Chris Buescher. If Chris Buescher gets back to SVG, he's going to completely use the bumper on him. They barely touched. Jeff, you need to get your eyes checked and maybe a talking to.
We will not tolerate any Jeff Burton slander on this podcast. Yeah. It was hard to pass yesterday, even with the fall off. I mean, there was a lot of fall off, which credit to Goodyear and NASCAR. They had a lot of fall off, but at the same time, it only showed up. Like, I think Buescher was the only one that really made a lot of progress on fresher tires.
So what I notice is going into the race as well, when I'm going over all the pre-race stuff Sunday, I look at the sets of tires and
the codes. You going through the codes and everything?
No, I was going to see how many sets we had laying, what we had, and there wasn't a lot.
Wasn't much.
So
it's like an Xfinity race.
Yeah, I mean, like, to me, I felt like we needed to have a couple more sets to play with. If you didn't have, if you want the comers and goers like that, like, there wasn't really any room for error. You kind of were all going to be on the same tires no matter what most of the time.
I think they should give them less.
I think they should give them another more. If you're going to fall off like
sets,
that,
give them 3 sets and figure out when you want to use them.
Blaney fans, you might want to make some room in that bathtub for us 11 fans. The human torpedo, Corey LaJoy, has decided to just throw us in the deep end of this hot tub.
Corey LaJoy, that guy. He's the biggest dip, no good mother that don't even deserve a ride. That's why his punk ass is stacking pennies and not stacking dollars. Him, LaJoy, Gainbridge, Corey. I love you guys. Have a great day.
God.
Corey LaJoy had his best road course race ever. He finished 8th and was still the worst Spire car out there.
What's she calling?
The worst Spire car.
Damn.
I mean, that's cold.
Well, we talk about comparing ourselves to others in this sport.
So I was in the garage yesterday, and I was talking to Gluck, and then Ryan Flores, who's on Stack of Pennies with Corey, walked up, and then Bob walked up, and Bob was like, do you know it takes 3 pennies to make a penny? Like, it costs basically 3 pennies to make a penny. He's like, so the penny is absolutely worthless. He's like, and Ryan's like, I guess we should change the name of our podcast. And Corey goes, no, I feel that every week now. That's
You shouldn't have given the general public that information.
I relate to that. I mean, it's out there. I promise you.
what do you think they rename it to if they do? Real Man's Podcast? That's what John would say.
All right. Well, to leave an audio message 24/7, you can call our number 704-802-9572, and we will play the best ones each week on the show.
Consumer Cellular is official wireless partner of Brad Keselowski, RFK Racing, and the 6 Car. If they can count on Consumer Cellular, you can too.
Brad Keselowski and RFK Racing, no speed. And that's just what you get with Consumer Cellular.
Have you seen Brad's Consumer Cellular convertible? A symbol of savings, you might say. That thing is awesome.
Consumer Cellular has award-winning 100% U.S.-based customer service centers, so you can always get the help you need. It's like having your pit crew right there when you need them.
Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as leading carriers, but with plans starting as low as $20 a month.
There are no activation fees and no contracts. Consumer Cellular customers stay because they want to, not because they have to. They don't need to trap their customers.
You can even try Consumer Cellular for 30 days risk-free. If you don't love it, cancel it, but they bet you'll love it.
If you're paying too much for wireless service, pump the brakes and switch to Consumer Cellular. They offer big wireless coverage without the big wireless cost.
And now, once you turn 50, you can get 2 lines of unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 each. That's only $60 a month. So why keep spending more than you have to?
Be a winner with Consumer Cellular. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
This rate plan requires 2 lines of service, age verification, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits. Taxes and fees apply. It's time for Ask DBC, and be sure to send us your questions on X each week using hashtag AskDBC, and we will answer the best ones. Ethan Lohman asks, with all of the comments around entertainment versus racing in the past month, ratings and TV aside, what makes for a good race from a driver-team perspective, and has the green-white checkered overtime aspect ran its course? Freddie.
I was not listening at all.
Okay. I appreciate the honesty.
What makes a good race for you?
What am I doing here then?
It's very easy to say what makes a good race for a team and driver, and unfortunately it comes down to the finish. Like, you can have a great day, and if you don't finish, whether you blow a motor or whether you get in a wreck or whatever happens, man, it's a long ride to the airplane when you don't finish.
Was the ARCA race a great race?
And I didn't watch.
No.
I mean, there was only like a 30-second margin of victory.
And
it probably could have been.
How many times have we seen, like, obviously we always kind of.
What was the second part of the question?
How many?
It was kind of a loaded question, truthfully. The second half has the green-white checkered overtime ran its course. But
Yes, absolutely.
We touched on that.
But we always go to like the Gluck poll. That's kind of our, baseline of
Trending 80% this week.
How many times will, just based off the Gluck poll, will the race be absolutely horrendous, and then we get a green-white checker and some crazy finish, and the Gluck poll is all of a sudden
off the chart,
70-80%. And you're like, that race was awful, but it had a phenomenal finish. Like, thanks, I feel like that's all that matters.
The car tomorrow was literally saved by that grace. I mean, the late race cautions saved that error because that was not a great car.
I'll never forget
on the track. Kyle Busch won his first race, and he got out and said, "This car sucks."
I was a fan. That's why I was just watching at home, and the first race of that car, he got out. The guy that won the race got out and said, "This car."
I remember Jeff Burton, and I remember talking to Burton after the race about it. And I wasn't spotting for Jeff yet, but just talking about how the car drove, et cetera. But I listen. A green-white checker, has it run its course? Unfortunately for me, no. As a paying fan at a venue, or as a paying fan at home, and you say, well, you don't pay at home. Yeah, you do. You're paying your cable bill. Those advertisers are paying to have you watch. If I've invested 4 hours in a race and it takes 10 minutes to clean up the track to go back green, I don't give a
if it takes 40 minutes.
I don't give a it's my choice to keep watching or turn it off and go on the lake or go do whatever I want to do. I don't want to see the game end, even tonight's Monday Night Football game end halfway through the fourth quarter because of some reason. I want to see
but the thing is, it's not going to end halfway through the fourth. It's going to end when 15 minutes are up.
So so you want no overtime?
I want no overtime. Well, no, I want if it's tied, you keep going, obviously.
Well,
but
that's unfortunately the way the green-white checkered is viewed. I understand why people say it's run its course. I mean, I saw yesterday Jeff Gluck tweeted,
I'm
starting to sign.
He got killed.
I'm starting to side with Freddie Kraft. The green-white checker has run its course. I didn't look in the replies. I just saw the tweet.
You shouldn't.
And I understand why he said that. I understand why Freddie has his stance. But for the paying fan, that is who we're catering to. We're not catering to the team saving money by not crashing on the third green-white checker. We're catering to the fan.
Yeah. I don't know. The problem is no matter, you're still not seeing, we did it for literally an hour on Saturday, and you still didn't see a good finish. You got one good corner on a restart. Then we still wrecked half the field. Connor's gone by 100 car lengths.
Oh, the finish is great.
Yeah. And
if Gluck sent out a poll right now and said, should green-white checkers be eliminated? I feel like the only people that are going to vote yes are industry people. Are you and Gluck?
It'd be 99% to 1.
I mean, it is what it is.
Listen, I always say it's the most unpopular opinion in the world, but we have to save ourselves from ourselves at some point.
All right. Nathan asks, with drivers picking their own song for driver intros at Bristol, what song would you choose if there were spotter introductions?
That's too hard to do on the spot, ain't it?
It is hard to do that on the spot.
I'm going to go with Michael Jackson something.
No.
I couldn't have saw that coming.
It's either that or Justin Bieber.
Beat it. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
My favorite Michael Jackson song is Man in America. That's my favorite song in the history of America.
The history
that is a fantastic song.
If I were going to go with something newer, I would pick a Luke Combs song. I like his stuff.
I would probably be.
What's that song about the beer?
Ice
Beer
cold
never
beer.
broke my heart.
Yeah.
Look how he lit up when I said that.
That's it. Ice cold beer never broke my
I would
heart.
probably some kind of Billy Joel song, I would imagine. TJ?
That's hard to do.
Intro to John Madden football.
Yeah, something. What's the college?
The fight song. Like, what college are you? Use their fight song?
Yeah, I mean, I use Michigan, so.
Oh, way to go out on a limb.
Yeah, it's real tough with them.
If you're a Florida State fan, I bet you're.
I'm not Florida
Are
State.
they 0-3? Did they lose this week?
They done. They owe that coach $74 million.
Oh,
fired?
No,
not yet.
I think the Florida coach is getting fired today, though.
Napier?
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez.
All right.
So you don't have a walk-up song? I was trying to buy you some time.
Yeah, not on the spot. I don't.
We've talked for 7 minutes.
What takes longer for you to pick your song or your DVC pick?
I don't know. Since I've won the last 2 crowns in that, you might want to take my stance on that.
Freddie's won 3 in a row.
I've won 2 championships, buddy.
Wow.
Okay, so you can go ahead and turn your mic back off and sit over there and watch the camera.
I think you won 1. I don't think you won 2.
Wow. That's the most fight I've seen out of you in a while.
Yeah, I've had my dinners bought twice. We still have to do last year's, just so you guys know. Tyler,
I got a song for
Tyler,
TJ.
where you at?
I got a song for TJ.
Yeah, pick it for me.
Your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
That's more a you song.
I think that's a good song for you.
That's more of a you song. So, I mean, I think you actually want that song is what I think, but you try to throw it on me.
We got to have something.
Sure, I'll just take that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Milkshakes.
All right. Clay asks, what are your thoughts on making drivers stay on the racing surface and quit using curbs and runoffs as part of the track? If you can't stay on the surface without slowing down, then you get a penalty. Would it make the racing more interesting?
Good luck.
I don't want a discretionary penalty.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Been there, done that.
I hate discretionary penalties across our sport in general. And I get why they got to exist, but I don't. That doesn't mean I got to like them. 100%, the track should have limits, and you shouldn't be able to be 7 car widths off the track.
Yeah, you can't have. It's either you're over it or you're not, and I don't. The only way to really do that to me is to have some sort of punishment.
They've ruined turn 4 at Sonoma, which is essentially also ruined turn 7 because of that big runoff that they give.
Yeah, they're just letting the guys run over there.
You don't have to stop to make the corner. You know, it's like you're merging onto the interstate and you just get your speed up even more.
Why do we have to move everything further away? Like Freddie said earlier, the magic word. What's the magic word, Freddie?
Pizza.
Where do we race? Where do we race at that gives you, if you have a penalty if you mess up?
Chicago.
Exactly. You know, there's how many times did we see guys brush the fence right there? And I don't know if you can't just put a wall there at Watkins Glen and turn 1. You can't move that wall closer, I don't think.
Why not?
Put a sand trap there. I don't know. Put a sand trap where if you get off on the left, you're going to hit some sand or something. I don't know. Like something has got to stop them from going over there, and there needs to be some sort of. Otherwise, they're just going to keep using it. And these Watkins Glen used to think about it. Like Brett will remember, and probably in Freddie's first day spot, you go to the Glen, there was like. You got off in the carousel. I was like,
You're in trouble.
Yeah, and there's none of that right now. So
you lost 10 spots or you got stuck.
Yes.
And Connor sat here and said when he got off, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. It just needs to be some sort of something. I don't know. And these little things aren't doing it, obviously.
All right, Karsyn had to dip a little bit early. Back with the guys. We got a couple segments left, starting off with What an Idiot. TJ, let's start with you.
I think he called you an idiot.
I'm not sure how to take that.
I know. I mean, I had a clear one until you spoke up a little bit ago.
I think he called you an idiot. I think that was him calling you an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could just reverse it and
like is this
give
Uno?
it to Jay. Yeah,
Uno
Jay,
reverse. Is that what we're doing?
Reversey.
I mean, it's be pretty obvious. Me be the guy that clipped us, trying too hard, I guess, maybe or something. So
Logano gets your What an Idiot.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
This is him.
Did Coleman apologize to you?
This is him baiting Brad. I told you.
No, there's no apology from that. They're just, we have stuff on our tires. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. We were in the wrong.
My What Idiot is very easy. It's the 3 guys that drove straight through the bus stop. I don't know who to give it to. Like, I heard Ty say something on the radio about his brakes weren't working, but since we went back green, they started working again. And then, who's the bigger idiot? Like, the guy that does it? Or the 2 guys that follow the guy that does it. Like
I don't understand how any of them do it. Although
there was a wreck there? There was a wreck. No, there was a car sitting there was talking about oil or something in the bus stop.
But you can't drive.
They were talking about fluid back there.
But you can't drive straight through.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, you can.
They did it. 3 of them did it.
You definitely can, but
I just wish Connor would have had enough brain to stop.
So I will tell you this: in we did go over this at our meeting. I said, Connor, on Thursday or maybe Wednesday it was, I'm like, look, I don't care if it's practice, qualifying, race. If you go straight in that bus stop, you come to a stop. I don't care what session it's in. You come to a stop because they're going to disallow your lap, penalize you. Something's going to come from it no matter what. So the only time that it probably wouldn't is if the last lap of practice or whatever. They're just going to say, oh, your lap's disallowed. But I don't care. Otherwise, you come to a stop. And I know he just made a quick reaction thinking them guys already knew, or maybe there was something in the bus stop and he was thinking, okay, I'm just avoiding that. So, but that does bring up, I mean, I got a question for you guys on this. What is a viable excuse for going straight through the bus stop? What if there is a wreck like where the 8 was sitting and you go straight? If there's oil, say a guy blows up and you're come through there about 8 or 10 seconds later, are you just supposed to drive through the oil? You know what I mean?
Like, do a stop and go, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're, not that I'm saying this situation was justifiable, but I do think there could be, if somebody does blow up going into the bus stop, does the whole field go straight at that point?
Maybe this is a question you guys will or won't agree with. Should that little access road just be closed with barriers so you can't do it?
I don't think so, because I think you need to have.
Yeah, I don't think you should.
You don't want to.
But again, we're giving somebody the ability to go straight because they missed a corner. You made an error. There's no big repercussion. It's a stop and go.
I think there's things like they do with the Formula One races. If you see, even at the end of their long straightaways, like Monza, I think has one. There's a chicane, just like a tire barrier, whatever, the plastic things.
Absolutely.
That they just drive through.
Didn't we do that at Indy?
We did it.
Well, it's at the Roval on the backstretch there. You know how you got to zigzag through it.
Yeah,
like went flying through those one time. I remember.
Yeah. But I mean, what if you miss it? You do that, and it's slower than what it would be if you stay on the track. So you're not gaining anything at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but then you got guys that are probably just blow through the grass and.
I'll give my what an idiot to me. I know that surprises y'all.
Get out of here.
Considering I'm an idiot daily, but I sent a tweet out on Friday making fun of a political farce that's out there. It was a joke, and a friend of mine in the media actually a few hours later pointed out that he, along with some people, didn't see it as a joke. So I didn't frame it up well, and hopefully anybody that's listening that it bothered forgives me, because I was not making fun of anything other than just a political farce that's been out there. So I'm this week's what an idiot.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
hard to argue with you.
It's not.
So,
I knew when I said it that nobody was going to disagree.
Nobody was going to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yep. New champion of what an idiot.
Maybe write the Dust Your Hall of Fame plaque off for that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, listen, I've given it. Y'all have given it to me many times. I've given it to myself many times. So might as well keep the streak going.
Might as well keep it rolling.
If somebody's calling you from a line that says healthcare, so you're supposed to answer. Not in my life. I'm not. No, never mind. Y'all don't realize.
Well, we want to talk about your bent carrot, Brett.
We're gonna. That's gonna. Yeah.
What's next?
All right, DBC picks. Casey sent me her pick. She's going to go with Denny Hamlin this week at Bristol.
She keeps burning me. Martin Truex Jr.
Oh shit! Damn.
He's in a must-ish win, right?
Yeah.
I
like honestly feel like it's time for Christopher Bell to reappear.
I thought there's no way you're going to take him. I don't know who I'm going to take now.
I may win what an idiot next week for picking Martin Truex. The guy ain't finished a race in 8 months.
Hey, just saying, who's taking a long time here, Jay?
I didn't think there's any way you were picking Bell.
That's okay. He's still got probably 15 minutes for this one pick to make up for all the time you've spent this year.
Come on.
I will take.
Pretty fluent this year.
I'll take back-to-back Chris Buescher. Did he go back-to-back last year at some point?
2 years ago, right?
No, last year he won like 2 races in a row.
3 out of 4 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he won 3 out of 4.
I think one of them was Bristol.
God, it seems like that was a long time ago.
No.
Was it the year before you won Bristol?
Yeah.
What day y'all got to go up to Bristol?
Thursday.
Thursday night trucks. Friday night Xfinity.
Well, we're gonna do your favorite series before the truck race.
You're
not doing.
I'm actually doing ARCA apparently at Kansas. I don't know how I got signed up. It's all
Venturini talking
Lambert's fault. It's 100% Lambert's fault. I think I have Isabella Robusto. Her first mile-and-a-half race. So that'd be fun.
She ran Phoenix last year and was fast.
She's very talented.
Yeah,
very talented.
A lot of speed.
Weather looks pretty good. 80 and 60. 80 for the high, 60s for the low.
I was going to say 80, it's 80 one day and 60 the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weather looks good here all week.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, if you're a frog. Yeah, I don't know. Looking forward to Bristol. I have who do I have? I have Andy J, Matt Mills in the truck. I feel like we've been off the trucks forever.
I know.
It's weird.
It's been 3 weeks. The thing that kills me is the playoffs. Like
They don't line
don't
up.
align
No,
whatsoever. Like
yeah.
the trucks have been in the playoffs for a month. Cup's been 2 weeks in
Yeah.
now. Xfinity doesn't
still
start. They don't even start yet. Like
I really wish they would align that. Like it would be so much easier to. I don't know if it's possible. I haven't even tried to line it up, but I really wish it was lined up with each other. And then we got Xfinity with Dale Jr.
Is he
Are
racing?
you running Bristol?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Mayonnaise car?
Mayo
The
missile.
Mayo missile.
Yep, it's coming back.
So you're spotting that one?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep. It's hopefully it doesn't catch fire this year. So that'll be fun. I'll probably throw out a few lap times, see if I can get them pissed off.
Over under on caution laps in that Xfinity race.
How many laps is the race? 200 or 300 probably.
It's 300. 100?
100, I'd
Yeah,
say.
I'd say 100.
I don't know, man. I feel like that race. Could.
Cutoff race.
I don't know. I'm feeling like it's going to be fairly clean.
You think under?
Yeah.
I'll tell you
oh, yeah.
one thing that like somebody that maybe had a quiet year but has I don't even know where he finished the other day. He had a trouble. I think he bounced back and had a decent
Burton.
finish. Not Jim Burton. Sammy Smith.
Yeah.
Was on that cut line in the last 3 to 4 weeks. He's run really, really well and got himself to where he's got a nice cushion on Sieg for the cut line. But he was like in jeopardy. He was out, I think, 3 weeks ago, and now he's up, I don't know, 30, 40 points, whatever it is. But he's like I know they made a crew chief swap, but even before that he ran well. But he's really stepped up when
you
he
can't
needs
be in a JRM car full time and not make the playoff.
Oh, I mean, you can.
One guy's gonna.
Well, I mean, you can, but
yeah, I mean, it's happening.
I mean, but yeah,
you shouldn't.
I mean, I expect Allgaier to be real fast this week. If not, I mean, he might be the guy to beat at Bristol this week.
There are 5 teams in the Xfinity Series that can win. And I'm sorry if you're not on one of those 5 teams, and I realize that Cinderella stories can happen, but JRM is a winning team. Haas is a winning team. Colleague is a winning team. JGR is obviously a winning team, and Colleague Racing.
You said Colleague twice.
Yeah,
RCR.
Who's that? RCR. Sorry. I was thinking RCR the first time I said Colleague because they're on the same campus.
Yeah.
But those 5 teams win all the races.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Ryan Sieg should have won Atlanta. Like,
You think he regrets that? You think he regrets
when
not
he moved
door
up?
slamming that
When
guy?
he moved up off the bottom, I was like, "What are you doing?" And he loses that race. You don't make the playoff. You don't win the race. Like, that's your chance. And the Siegs have gotten a lot better.
He
know,
should
the
have won
cars got
Texas.
faster. I saw where Kligerman's out.
Yeah, Kligerman's
Say his
out.
name right finally.
Kliger. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
you
G.
did,
There's a
actually.
G.
I just saw that there's no N in his name.
Yeah.
I was like, people keep making fun of me. I'm going to have to go look at this guy's name. And I'm like, there's no N in Kligerman.
Yeah,
It's Kligerman.
I think he's out. I heard Nick Sanchez is the rumored replacement there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Are we surprised that car hadn't won with RCR affiliation?
I mean, the thing about like Parker is he's always in contention at plate races. He runs really well
Good
at
at
road
road
courses.
courses, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that I would say it's a surprise he hasn't won. I would be surprised if they did win. Probably.
I don't know. There's been a few races.
No,
You don't think Sanchez?
I don't know, man.
think I mean, I don't know.
I think it's going to be hard. I think Parker knows how to piece together. You know, he knows how to run a smart race until that one moment where he doesn't. But most of the time, he knows how to run a good race, and he knows where to be. I think the peaks will be higher with Nick, but I also think there'll be more lows as well. I think Parker's probably a little more consistent across the board. But Nick has a lot of raw speed, and I think there's going to be a few tracks where that probably comes into play. So whether he can finish the deal off, and that's also, Nick has also been one of the guys that can show a lot of speed, but then just has that mistake and takes himself out of some things a lot. But I think it's
what truck's he in now?
The 2.
Yeah,
Aspire.
Yeah, and he's
It's a
won,
swift move. I mean,
Yeah. Logical move. I think he drove that car before, didn't he? Like I feel like
think
he
so.
drove it like
he did
last year or
Yeah.
the year before. Somebody got fired, or
And I thought he was pretty. He was pretty decently quick.
he
in
run
it.
well.
Yeah. So
Well, this weekend will be interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of laps. A lot of speedy dry will be put down. A lot of debris will be picked up, and a lot of people are going to lose their minds.
Especially now.
This is a temper tantrum racetrack.
Xfinity cutoff race is going to be wild there.
And there's 3 guys.
Cup cutoff race.
Cup cutoff race. With 3
Something's
guys.
going to happen. Somebody's going to have some trouble, and then it's going to jam everything. It's going to tighten everything up, and then you just got to go and capitalize. On
Last thing is groove stays low until when this weekend?
We don't know. You really don't know. Like we don't know. We might have the same show we had in April or March. Whatever the hell we raced.
Honestly, I don't feel like it's going to turn into that.
I don't think so.
We got some practice and some experience with it now. I don't think it's going to get that bad.
Exact same tire and cup? Question mark.
I don't. They tire tested, so I don't know what they're bringing.
I think if it's not the exact, it's something really close. But I do think you're going to have guys that have tire issues, and what I hope is what happened last time is we're not going to throw the caution for every single guy that self-inflicts a flat tire to themselves. And even if they ride around at 30 mile an hour, you're not going to do it because that's what happened last time.
Even though you should.
Even though you shouldn't, you should get off the track safely and utilize your spotter.
So Gibbs and Briscoe are tied for the last spot. Am I reading this right? So they're tied for the last spot. Denny's out. Why do I think that's wrong? I thought that was the last spot, but they're 11th and 12th on here. So Denny's out 6. You're out 12.
Yeah, we're 12.
Martin's out 14. Do you think does anybody in the top 12 get knocked out?
Somebody's got to.
They don't have to.
Somebody's got to.
Do you think Denny gets in? Who gets in from the outside the top 12?
I mean, if you had told me those guys you just named are going to go out first round, I'd have said you're crazy.
On here, I would say did you pick Truex to go out in the first round? Do you remember?
I think I may have.
But other than that, I think Harrison was the one we all kind of agreed on. But I don't think either one of us, anybody else had a second guy that's going to be out. Like I think mine were Cindric, Suarez, and maybe Bowman. Like they're all in the top 5. They're going to be easily through the next round.
I think the only guy that we had would have been Harrison.
Yeah.
But other than that just shows you, man, two bad races and you're on the edge or out. So
it's crazy though, man. Like a William Byron, if he wrecks early in stage 1, he's out.
And you don't a lot of people don't realize about Bristol is you don't have to. It's not you screwing up. Somebody screws up, goes, spins, hits the inside wall, shoots back across the racetrack, and it's a 12-car pileup, and you're in it. You know what I mean? It's
my favorite part about spotting there, as opposed to like a Pocono or Michigan, is everything in the world is 14 seconds ahead of you. Like there's at no point that you're not in a spot where you're safe. You have to know what's going on out front at all times.
Absolutely.
It's not like Pocono where if they wreck in a tunnel and you're in turn 1, you don't care.
Hey, you got 20. Yeah. There's a wreck over there.
There's a wreck over there, man. Just take your time. Like Bristol, you're like,
it happens fast.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Well, yeah.
We appreciate everybody. We'll see more DBC. I saw a bunch this week. See some more next week. I'm sure Bristol's always a popular
saw a lot of
one.
T-shirts this weekend.
T-shirts?
I saw some DBC T-shirts walking around.
I heard somebody scream "Hung Money" in the garage again this week. That was probably unfortunate.
Yeah, we didn't, and let it be known, we didn't make that up. A fan made it up. We just thought it was very clever. I think it's fun too. But clever. We out, holla.
Word.
See ya.